him and do that which he requires of us. Praise the Lord. If you may be seated, brethren, thank you. Praise the Lord. At this time, the children will go for their divine service upstairs, I guess you could call it. Praise his holy name. Yes, okay. So, for the last 2 weeks, we've been touching upon the book of Jeremiah, and I realized that I did it maybe not sequentially, and then they give what they call the exposition, the background story, so it gives more insight into what's going on in, Judah and the state of the authority that is in place, the kings, if you will. And let me begin by greeting the household of faith, those in authority, Pastor Johnson, Elder Gardner, Elder Sherwood, Evangelist Adola, and their dear wives. Beautiful to see you again, Sister QE, in the sanctuary. Sister Val, lovely to see you, and it's great to see that God is keeping your strength and in good spirits too. So Jeremiah 1, let's get right into this, I want to cover a little bit. I want to make it as less weary as possible, but I do want to give you insight into the background of what was going on. So Jeremiah 1. The words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah. Remember that name, Hilkiah. He's going to come up later. Hilkiah, underline that in your mind, Hilkiah. Of the priests that were in Anathoth, in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of the Lord came in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. Then it goes on to further say, it came also in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah. So we have to realize Jeremiah outlived 5 different kings. 5 different kings. It mentioned Josiah was the first one, and Zedekiah was the last one. And with that said, I'm going to now flip over to the book of 2 Chronicles to give you more insight into the kings, and maybe there's some lessons to be learned there. As you know, you learn from mistakes, and they don't necessarily need to be your mistakes. So let me flip over at this moment. Okay. So 2 Chronicles 34, verse 3. For in the 8th year of his reign, while he was yet young, he began to seek after the God of David his father. Now this is talking about Josiah. And in the 12th year he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem from the high places. For 60 years under the rules of Manasseh and Ammon, there was much wickedness going on in the land of Judah. Such to the extent that the house of the Lord began to be dilapidated. It was breaking down. And the book of the law didn't dwell among the people. They didn't know where it was. So Josiah saw the state and he made some changes. And in the 12th year began to purge Jerusalem from the high places and the groves and the carved images and molten images. So brethren, when we're having to make reforms in our lives, we have to purge these things too. Josiah saw it, the sad state, he made the change. I'm going to skip over to verse 14 over here. And when they brought out the money, so he's now fixing the house of the Lord, that was brought into the house of the Lord, Hilkiah. You remember that name? We just spoke it, Hilkiah. Sorry, of the Lord, given by Moses. And Hilkiah answered and said to Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah delivered the book to Shaphan. Shaphan now So then, verse 18. Then Shaphan the scribe told the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest have given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. And it came to pass when the king heard the words of the law, that he what? He rent his garments. Woe is me. And the king commanded Hilkiah and Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, and Abaddon, and Asaiah, a servant of the king's, saying, go inquire of the Lord for me and for them that left in Israel. So that's what us to follow. So Judah was in a state of dilapidation from the Lord. The house of the Lord was becoming old and weary, and the book of the law was not being read from there. Okay? And sorry, verse 22. And Hilkiah and they that the king had appointed went to who? Huldah. Huda. Is that right, sister? Huda. The prophetess. So she's one of the 7 prophetesses mentioned in the Bible. Huda. And there's great speculation as to why they went to Huda rather than Jeremiah, if you in the Jewish writings. The wife of Shallum, the son of Hikva, the son of Heshra, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college, so she was studying. But it does bring the question to me, what was she studying? Because the book of the law was not present.